So project instructions are a critical component of this entire setup because you're essentially engineering a context layer that's your starting point to make the LLM better at what it does and relevant to what you're trying to achieve to help it understand the data and the nuances within it, right? So that's kind of what this project instruction prompt, right? That we've built in a previous video, and I've walked through this kind of how you kind of establish role and identity, data taxonomy, some trigger logics for reports, guardrails, metric definitions, and output formatting. So the way I did it was I would go in Obsidian, I'd have a demo data instructions, and in here I define the role, and then again audience and taxonomy, and there's guardrails based on some weirdness I've seen with the behavior. Now, a couple of things, drawbacks with this approach. It's very manual, right? It takes a lot of effort to build this baseline project instructions. It's one piece. The second piece, the project instructions are a starting point. And so they kind of get refined over time. And the process really was, I would have a V1, and then I'd have a V2, and I'd make the edits, I'd save it, I'd copy it back into the project instructions. So I've improved on that. First, I've created a skill that allows you to, that essentially builds these project instructions for you. So we're going to walk through this together. And the idea is I'll make this skill accessible, that you can take the skill and you can run it. So let's run the skill. It'll walk you step by step through each one of the sections, asking for your input so it can really generate a fully fleshed out prompt that you can paste into your project instructions. So I'm going to use my course as the example for this as we're building this. And I will give them both of these. Okay, so here it gives me context. Is it correct? Yeah, looks right. Okay, cool. What's the purpose here? Content creation, demo sandbox. Let's just call demo data analytics sandbox environment. Cool. Let's call it that. Great, that looks correct. Yes. Yes. Can you list the ones you have? Great. So we have a demo data flow. I'm going to say use this one. So typically you can have multiple or just one data flow. It varies across clients for me. So I will, if I have multiple data flows, I'll say, hey, these are the 4 data flows specifically for this client. And it'll always know if I'm looking at data in this project, in any chat in this project, I know what data sources to go to Coupler to go to. Okay, so it kind of gives me the taxonomy it detected, right? So motion, segment, region, targeting is correct. 18 columns, filtering logic, correct. Everything looks good. One, yes, awareness. Let's see, it's asking me about the overview, schema, hit enter 2, I'll say yes. Again, and this is where you can, it's very cool, you can directly just interact with Claude and be like, no, this doesn't make sense, we have these anomalies, we have these outliers, we have these test campaigns, you can just tell it, how you understand the data, how your data is structured, and the kind of the weirdness it needs to look out for, and you can just kind of go through it, right? With Claude until it has all of the edge cases, all of the anomalies, and understands all the nuances of your data. And this really gives it the baseline to work with. So SLG, it's leads and MQLs. And then for PLG, it's star jobs. Just do that for now. So guardrails, again, something that we would do manually, and sometimes they come up after you have project instructions set, and I have a way built in here, we'll cover at the end, how you can actually make those adjustments without having to kind of rewrite your entire project instructions. So this is correct. 2, so let's go through each one. 1 is correct. 2, EST, 3, include an overview total exclude, yes. 4, no. 2 decimals. 5, yes. 6, yes. 7, yes. And again, you can really work through anything that you want to put into guardrails that you know of, that are specific to you and your needs. So this is what I like to do is I like to either find a website where I like the look and feel and I want to match that in my reporting. If I'm working with an agency, I'll take that agency's style guide, apply it, or I can take the client's style guide and apply it. Typically what I do is I just paste it in the website, and that gives me a pretty good starting point and typically gives me the output that I want. So in this case, I'll just use my website. Okay, cool, it all looks good. I just want to make sure it's a light theme. I know sometimes it likes to lean towards a dark theme. I prefer a lighter theme for reporting. Cool, okay, looks good. Let's see, accent color. Let's go with this guy. Now that's the right tone. Again, right? How you like to communicate in reports. That's kind of, you can give it examples, right? If you've always put bullets in a certain way, you can just copy from previous reports bullets and throw them in here and have a tone style that kind of matches the tone that you're looking for. I'm going to say this is good. Okay, so we have project instructions, right? Which give you all of the instructions built into a format that you can copy paste into the project instructions. Just take a look at that right here, right? You download, you open it with a markdown editor, and then you can just copy paste it into here. So essentially what this just did is it did all of this, but you didn't have to do it manually, which is pretty cool. The other thing is there's a refinements capture file. You just download it and upload it in here. It's very simple, upload from device. This is how it logs changes to the project instructions without you having to actually update the instructions. So if we go back to the project instructions for this message, it'll talk about also read refinements.md if present. So it'll always check this first, and this will supersede anything within the project instructions. And then we have a refinements capture skill. You can ignore the create report skill. I'll share that as a separate file. We'll have a refinements capture, which you can then save as a skill. You already have it. And this is how you can make edits. So this is a very cool way, in a templatized way, that any new client that comes on, new project you need to create, you just go through this flow, you have the project instructions, and you have a way to update these instructions.